Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking out this video. What's happening in Calgary can only be described as a generational opportunity. I've been hammering this point home with you so much over the past few months, but it just becomes more and more real as we're seeing numbers coming out of the Toronto market and the Calgary market every single month. Check out this latest chart that I just saw this week in the Toronto Star. It shows that the average home in Toronto, the benchmark price as they call it, has gone from $857,000 to $1.33 million just in the last 2 years from the start of the pandemic until today. So the average typical home in Toronto is up $477,000 just in the last 2 years. Going over to Calgary, the benchmark price for March 2022 of the typical home in Calgary is $499,000. This means that if you just took the last 2 years of gains on your average Toronto property, you could take that money over to Calgary and you can buy the typical home in Calgary with cash. Buy it outright, no mortgage. Or, of course, if you're an investor and you're thinking strategically and you're thinking about using leverage to your advantage, with 20% down, you can buy 5 average properties in Calgary using just the gains in the last 2 years on your home in Toronto if you own the typical home in Toronto. This is a generational opportunity. This is not something that typically happens. This is not normal. The windows, the sky has opened up, and this is something that you need to be taking advantage of. I certainly am taking advantage of. Hundreds of our clients are, and we hope that you join us as well. On this video, we're going to talk about our latest opportunity in Calgary. It's called Harlow Condos at Wolf Willow by Truman Homes. It's in South Calgary. It's our first opportunity we've ever actually had in South Calgary, so we're very excited about that. We're going to get more into that in a moment. But first, how to look like a genius. So here's this beautiful chart that shows you the monthly home sales in Calgary over the last 10 years or so. And you'll notice, of course, the last few months, it's shooting off like a rocket, like nothing that has been seen in Calgary since probably 2005, 2006. But really, statistically speaking, now we are in a territory in Calgary that the market is at a level of heat, a hotness in Calgary that we have never seen before, even in the hottest days of 2005, 2006. So you will recall perhaps that if you've been following along with us for a while, November 2019, that was the first time that we brought Calgary to your attention and that we said you need to buy in Calgary. And then I personally bought my first investment in Calgary. And that around 100 of you also purchased in that very first opportunity. So congratulations to you. You do officially look like a genius right now if you bought in with us in those early days. But obviously the logical question you're wondering if you're watching this video and you didn't buy in early is, Andrew, is there still time? Is it too late? Can I still get in on this? Can you still look like a genius? Absolutely, you can. Check this out. Calgary condo shortage incoming. This is something I've been saying for the past month or so. If you had told the typical Calgarian anytime in the last 5-6 years that there would be a condo shortage in their city, they would have said, "You are crazy. Get out of my face. You are just speaking lies. That will never happen." The condo market in Calgary especially was hit worse than any other part of the market over the past 8 years or so. And nobody would dare believe that the condo market would ever be in a shortage situation, be in a seller's market situation. But that is exactly what is about to happen. Officially, technically speaking, actually, the market is in a seller's market already, but it's heating up by the day. So the low-rise market, the housing market, that popped about 6-8 months ago. Townhouses popped about 3-4 months ago. And now, what do you know? Just like every other market, we've seen this cycle before. The condo market is now starting to pop like crazy. But check this chart out specifically. Home sales versus new construction. So looking over the last 20 years, you can see that the new construction follows the market. As the market heats up, more new homes and condos are added to the construction pipeline. But look, of course, today, sales have shot up. Construction has not, okay? So this is going to create a shortage of supply. There's going to be a shortage, particularly of condos. Another thing I like to say is there's no cranes in Calgary, right? You look around Toronto at any given point in time, we're the crane capital of North America. You see cranes everywhere, building condos everywhere in this city. You can probably see 10, 15 at any point in time if you're downtown Toronto easily, but all across the GTA. You go to Calgary, you look around at the skyline, you do not see cranes, okay? As an investor, this is a tremendous opportunity. We know there's a shortage of new product in the pipeline. We know demand is soaring for housing here, but there's no new supply to back that up. So sometime in the next few years, you're going to see this massive shortage happen, and prices, again, will be shooting up, particularly in the condo sector. As I said, condos are heating up. They're currently officially, right now, as of shooting this video, March 2022, the hottest segment of the market in Calgary. Okay, condo sales right now for March are up 164% year over year versus houses. They're hot as well. They're doing great. Don't get me wrong, but they're only at 41%. Huge difference. The sales to new listing ratio for the month of March. This tells us a lot about the direction of the market and where prices are going in the months ahead. For condos, it's 87%. So 87% of those new listings are being snapped up immediately. For houses, still very hot, but less at 64%. So the condo market, to everyone's surprise, and again, people would have said you're crazy. Nobody could have seen this coming. Nobody believed it even 6 months ago in Calgary. Nobody would have believed that it was happening this soon in Calgary, but it is. It's great to see. And yes, it is happening, as Ron Paul is informing us there. Inflation update. We talked a lot about inflation, of course, on these videos. Inflation is very, very high. Mortgage rates are low. The net effect is that money is free right now, okay? You can borrow money at a lower cost than the money is depreciating in the form of inflation. So you want to, this is the time. This is the best time in history, certainly in the last 40 years. We've never seen this, to borrow money to invest. Yeah, there you go. That was a very long-winded intro to this video. For those of you who don't know me, once again, Andrew Lafleur, top 100 agent with RE/MAX here in Toronto. Helped over 1,500 condo investors, including over 350 in Calgary. And there's a photo of me looking my best to impersonate a smart-looking businessman / real estate agent. And I'm personally invested in Calgary as well. I bought 3 units there so far, and I'm certainly going to be adding more this year in 2022. Calgary checks all the boxes. So the big headlines that you need to know about Calgary, it's 50 to 70% cheaper than Toronto, just dramatically cheaper, as I keep hammering home. You're getting positive cash flow in Calgary. It's impossible to find here in Toronto. Calgary is the 5th most livable city in the world. It's a great place to live. And Calgary has a growing population. It's going to grow unbelievably this year. So many people are moving to Calgary from Ontario and BC in particular for no other reason, simply right now, than it's just so cheap to live there. You can have a high quality of life, you can get a great job, and you can do it all for dramatically less than you can in Ontario and BC in particular. It's the youngest population in Canada. Companies love that. They're always looking for young talent, place to grow. Has the highest incomes in Canada. So highest incomes in Canada with the lowest housing prices of any city in Canada. What does that tell you about where prices are going? And it's got the highest projected GDP growth. So this province is growing quicker than anywhere else in Canada. And the bonuses for us as investors, why we love Calgary, again, you have no land transfer taxes in Calgary. You have no HST. There's no foreign buyer taxes. There's no rent control on any properties in Alberta. And there are essentially no closing costs. That's a huge one, as closing costs now in Toronto, typical property about $40,000 to $50,000 when you're buying pre-construction, versus Calgary, $0. So if you don't know the whole history, this is helpful for you. So looking at the last 10 years or so, how Calgary got to where it is right now, looking at the sales story. So there was a boom in 2011 to 2014. That was the last boom in Calgary. The oil price collapsed at the end of that, and then you had a recession for about 5-6 years there. And then where we are today, you see 2021, the market woke up and the market officially came back. But look at 2022. We are way beyond anything that we saw in 2021 already, and the market just is heating up by the day in Calgary. Chris Farley is super happy and surprised to see that. Looking at the price story in Calgary. So going back 20 years, the blue lines represent how much percentage the price increased each year, and the green line is the actual average price in Calgary. So again, you see there was a previous boom even before the last one, 2005, 2007, huge growth. And then you had the financial crisis, oil, and then you had the next boom after that. Oil prices collapsed. You had the recession. And what we like to say, buying in Calgary today, yes, the prices are low compared to Toronto, but they're low compared to Calgary. You're buying today at similar prices of 2014, 2015. Now, this is rapidly changing as prices are going up in Calgary, but the story remains true. You're jumping into a time machine in Calgary and going back in time to see prices that were long gone. You thought were long gone. Immigration update, of course, there is the 100-year history of immigration in Canada, and you'll notice that on the far right there. That's last year, this year, and next year. The projections are to be the highest ever in our country's history. 1.233 million officially was the number the government came out with last year, but of course you might have heard that number keeps rising, and just a few weeks ago, they announced that number is now up to 1.3, and really we can expect that number to grow even more and more and more with everything that's going on in the world. The bottom line is we do not have enough housing in this country as it is right now without adding any additional new bodies to the mix, and we're adding a record high number of new people into this country, which bodes very well for housing. And a city like Calgary is perfectly positioned for a place for those immigrants to go because, again, it is the most affordable city in Canada by a moonshot. So Harlow Condos by Truman Homes, again, 10% deposit, 2-year rental guarantee. It's pre-construction, 2025 completion, and only starting from $314,000, the most expensive unit. The building, I believe, is about $410,000. So very affordable, $30,000 to $40,000 deposits required. We've done a number of these, as you probably know by now. They always sell out. Skyview North was our last one. Sold out in a week. Cavallo sold out in a week. These things used to take 2 months to sell out. And now we're selling them out in a matter of days. You don't want to wait. You don't want to think too hard about this. You want to get in. As I said, prices are now on the move in Calgary. Truman Homes is the builder, one of the best builders in Calgary, probably the biggest builder in Calgary. We're very happy to continue to work with them. Been around for 40 years. For those of you who want to get deep into the numbers, you can pause this slide and take a look at the comparison of the average entry-level investment condo in Toronto versus buying a unit at the Harlow. The big difference you're going to notice is positive cash flow versus negative cash flow, and the amount of money required to get into it is a fraction of what is required to get into something in Toronto. So if you're interested and you want to get in on our latest investment here at Harlow Condos, go ahead and jump on the website there and download the floor plans and prices. We are accepting worksheets now. Units are being sold and reserved right now as we speak. And you can call or text us anytime there, 647-371-0110. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, happy investing.